Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning. Right now at 5 a.m., a variant strain of the coronavirus first found in the UK discovered in Kern County. What this means, according to our local health officials. Plus, in Washington, 2 immigration bills passed the House and head to the Senate. One would create a pathway to citizenship for millions of younger undocumented immigrants known as Dreamers. We'll tell you how our local lawmakers voted. Plus, a local family still grieving the loss of a new mom and her baby are taking their fight to protect other mothers to the state legislature today. More on what they want to see done after local doctors missed all the warning signs. They say that something was wrong. This is Friday, March 19th, 2021. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen, anchoring from here at home. Alex Fisher in studio, and we're winding up winter today. Officially starting spring this weekend. Pretty excited for that, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is finally Friday, everyone. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, although we are monitoring a possible rain shower that could be moving into our area, like Kev talked about. Let's get a look at our forecast now with him.
Good morning. Yeah, we are still looking at a chance of showers by tonight into early Saturday morning. Won't be much, but it'll be enough that you might not want to wash your car today because you'll have to wash it again by the afternoon on Saturday. But we are starting the morning out with mostly clear skies and some cool temperatures in some locations. But for Bakersfield, it is a mild start for all of us. Yesterday was beautiful with those 70s. Right now, 54 degrees, a calm wind out there. And as we take a look at the forecast for today, you can see here if you're going to be taking the kids outside, it'd be a great day for it, at least early on. We'll see those temperatures rising into the lower 70s today. Take a look at Tehachapi, and we've got a temperature right now of 39, so a cool start there. A calm wind currently, and throughout the afternoon by 9 a.m. 43, and then we'll be looking at some lower 60s this afternoon. Also a breeze picking up throughout the afternoon as well. Again, I'm not expecting the rain to arrive until later on tonight. We'll talk more about that coming up in a bit.
All right, thanks so much, Kev. And we begin this morning with Kern Public Health confirming a variant strain of the coronavirus has been detected in Kern County. Officials identify the strain as B117. And it was first detected in the United Kingdom and has since spread to over 200 countries. As of March 11th, 265 cases of the B117 variant have been found in California, but this is the first in Kern. In a statement yesterday, Kern Public Health said there's no indication that current vaccines or antibody treatments are less effective against the B117 strain. However, the effects of the new strain may be more severe.
While our daily case average is looking much better than just a few months ago, we are still learning how deadly this virus was during the winter peak. Public Health announced 16 new deaths yesterday, bringing our total to 1,026 lives lost. On Wednesday, we surpassed the grim milestone of 1,000 deaths from this novel virus. January is by far our deadliest month, with at least 263 people dying from the virus. December is the second deadliest, with 235 lives lost. Right now, the situation is much better than a couple months ago. Public Health announced 78 new cases yesterday. Our daily average is now 84 people testing positive daily. 109 people are currently in the hospital with more acute symptoms. 23 people are in the ICU. And Public Health has released new data about the deaths here at home. Those 65 and older continue to be the most disproportionately group, accounting for nearly 68% of deaths here in Kern, while making up nearly 12% of the county's population. No children have died. Public Health says comorbidities, especially people with diabetes and hypertension, are contributing to the number of deaths. 29 people here in Kern County died of COVID-19 and did not have any underlying conditions. Hispanics and African Americans continue to be impacted more than other ethnicities. President Biden and Vice President Harris will visit Atlanta today, turning what was supposed to be a victory lap on the American Rescue Plan into a listening tour for the Asian American community there after this week's shootings. Tracy Potts has the story, plus what to expect from their visit to the CDC today.
Alex, good morning. Good morning, everyone. The White House says President Biden is in Atlanta today to meet with Asian leaders, to support the community, to listen, and to let them know that he will fight intolerance, xenophobia, and hate. Feeling attacked, Atlanta's Asian Pacific community will tell President Biden and Vice President Harris today that the killing of 6 Asian women this week ends a year where many were already living in fear.
It's an opportunity for us to hear firsthand that hurt and that pain that we know the Asian American community has been experiencing since the last guy left the White House.
Kung flu. I am not a virus. And when you say things like that, it hurts the Asian American community.
Lawmakers Thursday heard from Asian American actors and colleagues.
Our community is bleeding. We are in pain, and for the last year, we've been screaming out for help.
The president ordered flags flown at half-staff through Monday in honor of Atlanta's victims. Today, he meets with Asian American leaders, legislators, and advocates.
To hear about the impact of the incident on the community and to get their perspective on the rise in anti-Asian hate incidents.
Stop AAPI Hate reports nearly 4,000 in the last year in all 50 states. Today, the president focuses on that and COVID. He'll stop by Atlanta's CDC headquarters for an update.
58 days into our administration, we will have met my goal of administering 100 million shots to our fellow Americans.
More than 75 million people have now received at least one dose. But with new versions of the virus now circulating in every state, 13 states are seeing new cases go up. Dr. Anthony Fauci says it could be fall when teenagers start getting the vaccine before we see what's called herd immunity, where nearly everyone's protected. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
5:07 is your time now. Also in national news, the House yesterday passed a bill creating a pathway to citizenship for millions of younger undocumented immigrants known as Dreamers. The bill applies to those who entered the U.S. permanently before January 1st of this year and were 18 or younger at time of entry. The young Dreamers would have to meet a range of conditions, including passing background checks and achieving educational goals. Another bill would allow undocumented farm workers to apply for legal status and get a green card.
We've had undocumented farm workers in our fields for decades. It allows them to get a certified agricultural worker card so that they can work without fear.
The bill now needs to pass the Senate to be signed into law. Republican Congressman David Valadao voted in favor of the American Dream and Promise Act and Farm Workforce Modernization Act, while House Minority Leader and Republican Kevin McCarthy voted against the legislation. During a news conference yesterday, McCarthy said they are voting on 2 bills that not only do nothing to address the problem, it ignores the problem, but will actually worsen the situation. While Valadao's statement reads in part, "I am proud to protect our Dreamers. My congressional district is home to more than 7,000 DACA recipients. We must ensure that people who were brought here as children through no fault of their own and call the United States their home are welcome here." Welcome back here at 520, making headlines around the state this morning. An Oakland man escapes his truck right before it was hit by a passenger train. It happened Thursday morning as the man was loading debris into the truck, and that's when his vehicle got stuck on the tracks. The man saw the train approaching when he jumped out of the truck, saving his life. The truck burst into flames on impact. Here you see the aftermath of the incident. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And out of that explosion down south involving fireworks, authorities continue to investigate it. The explosion that rocked an entire neighborhood and killed 2 people in Ontario. Fire officials and bomb technicians are working to detonate a stockpile of unexploded fireworks found in the debris after that explosion. They say they detonated about 80 buckets of fireworks yesterday, and will continue that process until the area is completely swept clean. Once it is deemed safe, investigators will be able to access the home at the center of the explosion. Until then, dozens of evacuated residents will likely remain out of their homes.
A man was crushed to death by a car while allegedly trying to steal a catalytic converter in Anaheim. Anaheim police say the man was found dead around 6:30 a.m. Wednesday. Police believe he was trying to steal the car's catalytic converter when the car jack failed and he was crushed. Catalytic converters, which are attached to the exhaust system of a car, contain precious metals and can be scrapped for a quick profit.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back in your 17 Business Watch. Amazon is jumping into healthcare. The tech giant says it will be offering its Amazon Care telemedicine program to employers nationwide. Amazon Care is an app that currently is available only to the company's employees in Washington state. The app connects users virtually with doctors and nurses who can provide services and treatment over the phone 24 hours a day. In the Seattle area, it is supplemented with an in-person services like pharmacy delivery and house call services. Now Amazon says it will expand the service to interested private employers across the country by summer.
Chances are you're buying more online these days. About a third of Americans say they've had a package stolen at least once. NBC's Liz McLaughlin shows us ways to make sure your deliveries stay at your front door.
I buy a lot more on Amazon, and I constantly wait for packages.
The pandemic pushed consumers to shift more of their purchases online. Unfortunately, deliveries don't always make it to the hands of the buyer.
Sometimes a little bit of concern that you might not get home and find your package. A porch pirate, as we call it, come along and take it.
Package theft is at an all-time high, with 1.7 million packages stolen or lost every day in the U.S. But there are ways to protect yourself.
Hey, get away.
Many consumers are boosting porch security with upgrades like automatic lights and video doorbells from brands like Ring or Arlo.
It's a good way to sort of serve as a deterrent.
While cameras may capture the crime, they don't always stop the thief. But you can have the delivery driver secure your package in a locked storage bin with a system like Box Lock. Amazon shoppers can choose delivery to an Amazon locker. There are tens of thousands across the country. Or even opt for in-home delivery with a service called Amazon Key.
You need a smart lock to do this, but for instance, you can let a delivery person into your home to drop off the product right there at the door.
Easy, free ways to keep tabs on your packages, enroll in carrier alert programs, or use delivery tracking apps to get a better idea of when they'll arrive.
I'm able to run outside, pick it up real quick, and get it.
Decreasing the amount of time your package can tempt thieves. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Last week we told you about the fight the Dominguez family continues to battle for the justice of Demi Dominguez and her son Malachi De Leon, who died in 2019. It was later determined that she had undiagnosed preeclampsia. Today the fight continues in front of the state Senate and Assembly members. The family will be participating in the hearing virtually while hoping that Senator Melissa Hurtado will be bringing up the concerns they feel regarding the California State Medical Board. 17's Eliana Capian has more.
Good morning, Alex. I spoke to Senator Melissa Hurtado, who told me she has been a member of the Senate Health Committee since she joined the state Senate in 2018. She says health care has always been very important to her district, which spans from Fresno all the way down to Arvin and includes Kern County. Last year, the Dominguez family began a campaign to bring awareness to not only Demi and the Malachi's case, but also to the community of women and babies in Bakersfield who have lost their lives or have been traumatically harmed by medical negligence. Consumer Watchdog, which is a nonprofit consumer advocacy organization, have been closely working with families like the Dominguezes, and they have drafted up a letter that will be presented at today's hearing. Part of that letter says at least 16 different women and babies in the Bakersfield area have lost their lives or been traumatically harmed by the negligence of these two doctors. The medical board has allowed both physicians to continue placing young women, primarily Latina and Black mothers, in this community at risk by failing to revoke their licenses despite numerous complaints, disciplinary actions, hospital revocations of privileges, criminal and civil legal actions against them. Senator Hurtado says enough is enough and plans to ask tough questions to ensure health equity in the Central Valley.
Our region and the city of LA have some of the highest maternal deaths in the state of California. We have a very big problem with the provider shortage here in the Central Valley. It's the worst in the state. typically I believe you're supposed to have about 70 doctors for every 100,000 citizens. And here in the Central Valley, that number is at 39 for every 100,000.
While Senator Hurtado doesn't plan to speak about the Dominguez case specifically, she does plan to ask the questions that will protect citizens across the Central Valley.
Into what is the medical board doing, what is the medical board not doing, because it's about patient protection at the end of the day. And whatever it is that we need to do to protect patients, then we need to start doing it and taking action.
The hearing begins this morning at 9 and is open to the public. If you'd like to watch and or participate in the meeting, you can find the link on our story website at kget.com. In studio, Ileana Capellan, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.